Sabadi and Happy New Year's. Welcome to the LNTV English News Bulletin broadcasting from Vientiane capital. 2024 in Laos has been very eventful with the Laos ASEAN Chairmanship and Visit Laos Year among important events that took place this year. And as we bid farewell 2024 and welcomed 2025, let's take a moment to reflect on the challenges and opportunities that Laos has faced throughout the year. In our LNTV English News Bulletin, we will review the key and significant events that have shaped the socioeconomic development landscape in the country. More details with us with the LNTV News-Year End Roundup 2024. In 2024, Laos experienced a year filled with both challenges and opportunities, highlighted by significant events that shaped the nation. Top news items of 2024. ASEAN leadership. Laos successfully chaired the 45th ASEAN Interparliamentary Assembly, showcasing its leadership role in the region and enhancing diplomatic ties among member countries. The Visit Laos Year tourism promotion program gained momentum, attracting both local and international tourists and significantly boosting the country's tourism sector. UNESCO recognized two important aspects of Lao culture, the Naga motif in weaving and the Lamvong dance, further elevating Laos' cultural heritage on the global stage. Public health concerns. This year was marred by tragic incidents related to tainted alcohol in Vang Vieng, where several foreign tourists lost their lives. This prompt calls for justice and a thorough investigation into the matter. Economic challenges. Laos faced ongoing economic difficulties, including rising inflation that has affected many citizens, leading to increased food insecurity. Environmental issues. The country dealt with environmental challenges, including flooding caused by severe storms that impacted various regions. These events reflect a year of resilience and growth for Laos as it navigated through both triumph and tribulations, setting the stage for future developments in 2025. January. President calls for independent ownership of economy. The Secretary-General of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party Central Committee and President of Laos, Thongloun Sisoulith, vowed to transform the economy by leading it towards independence and Lao ownership, with the aim of creating a more resilient financial system. The move was recommended to reduce the impacts of external factors such as the heavy reliance on imports, which causes economic fragility and exposes the country to external shocks and disruptions. South Korea gives boost to Laos' chairmanship of ASEAN. The government of the Republic of Korea donated 2 cars, 6 minibuses, and $1 million to Laos for use during the country's chairmanship of ASEAN this year. Thai Princess marks 30th anniversary of Agriculture Development Center in Laos. Vice President Mrs. Pani Yathotu and Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn of Thailand co-chaired an event to mark the 30th anniversary of the Hoi Son Hoi Sua Agriculture Service and Development Center in Vientiane. This was the first visit to Laos by the Thai princess in 6 years. Her visit was vowed as a significant contribution to strengthening the friendly ties, mutual understanding, and cooperation between Laos and Thailand. President Lu's Army's triumphs on the 75th anniversary. President Thongloun praised the Army's many achievements over the past more than 7 decades as he spearheaded celebrations to mark the 75th anniversary of the Lao People's Army. President Thongloun said the birth of the armed forces 75 years ago was a triumph. President Thongloun said the birth of the armed forces 75 years ago was a turning point in Lao history and set the country on course for a decisive victory over foreign powers, guided by the resolute tactics of revolutionary leaders. Prime Minister calls for increased agricultural production. Prime Minister Sonsai Siphandon urged agriculture and forestry departments to produce more crops and livestock for export and to reduce imports. He also highlighted challenges that need to be addressed, such as the poor organization of agricultural production groups and low crops yield despite the availability of land. February. Laos earns 1.4 billion US dollars from agricultural exports. Laos earned more than 1.4 billion US dollar from the export of agricultural produce in 2022, exceeding the target set for 2023 by 20.18%. ASEAN-China Year launched in China. The 2024 ASEAN-China Year of People-to-People Exchanges was launched in Fuzhou, Fujian Province, China, to foster closer links in fields such as culture, education, tourism, and sports. Deputy Prime Minister Professor Dr. Kikiao Kaikampitun praised the initiatives, saying it was an important step in strengthening ASEAN-China relations and advancing the ASEAN-China Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Laos-Luxembourg vows to boost development ties. The governments of Laos and Luxembourg agrees to strengthen cooperation in education, health, trade, and investment as the two countries mark the 27th anniversary of diplomatic relations this year. Laos-Russia agrees to scale up trade investment cooperation. Senior officials from Laos and Russia agreed to enhance cooperation in trade and investment, acknowledging that the current value of bilateral trade and investment does not reflect the potential offered. Government leaders agreed to step up cooperation in finance and banking, tourism, cultural interests, education, health, and international information security, as well as mutual support in regional and international forums. Party chief attends Politburo meeting in Vietnam. Secretary General of the Central Committee of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party, Thongloun Sisoulith, traveled to Hanoi to attend a meeting of the Politburo of the Lao People's Revolutionary Party and the Communist Party of Vietnam. The President's participation in the meeting further enhanced the friendly relation, special solidarity, and comprehensive cooperation between the two countries. March. Laos Timor-Leste agrees to bolster economic ties. The presidents of Laos and Timor-Leste agreed to strengthen cooperation in sectors in which the two countries have potential for economic development, such as energy, services, tourism, and investment. They agreed to establish the Joint Commission on Bilateral Cooperation as a mechanism to promote cooperation. UNESCO awards World Heritage status to Naga weaving motif. UNESCO presented the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism with a certificate designating the traditional Naga weaving motif as a form of intangible cultural world heritage after the UN agency officially described the popular textile pattern on its World Heritage list last year. Laos-Australia elevates ties to comprehensive partnership. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Lao Prime Minister Sonsai Siphandon signed an agreement elevating ties between Australia and Laos to a comprehensive partnership. A signing between the two prime ministers took place in Australia in April. Luxembourg approves over 35 million euros for a healthcare nutrition program in Laos. The government of Luxembourg approved a significant budget for the year 2024, providing more than 35 million euros for health and nutrition programs in the poorest parts of Laos. Laos-Thailand celebrate anniversary of Mekong Bridge link. Representatives of Laos, Thailand, and Australia celebrated the construction of the first Lao-Thai Friendship Bridge, which opened in April 1994 and has strengthened the bonds of friendship between the three countries. President visits Cambodia to reinforce ties. President Thongloun Sisoulith and a high-level delegation made a state visit to Cambodia to enhance the long-standing friendship and partnership between the two countries. Japan supports road bridge upgrade. The Japanese government provided a grant aid to Laos for the purchase of equipment and vehicles worth 1,500 million Japanese yen, more than $9.4 million to repair roads and bridges. May. Laos, Vietnam commemorates victory at Dien Bien Phu. Ceremonies to mark the 70th Dien Bien Phu Victory Day were held in Laos and Vietnam, commemorating the enduring relationship between Laos and Vietnam over the past 7 decades. Lao-Russian President hold talks on bilateral ties. Visiting President Thongloun Sisoulith and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin hailed the growing Lao-Russian relations, agreeing to work together to further enhance their friendship. The Lao leader reminded his hosts about the successful implementation of many provisions under the Treaty of Amity, which Laos and Russia signed 30 years ago. Bokeo Dig unearths huge Buddha statue. A statue of Buddha at least 2 meters tall was excavated from a site near the Mekong River, making it the largest statue to be unearthed during the ongoing search for ancient artifacts in Tonphung District, Bokeo Province. June. Grand event celebrates UNESCO recognition of Lao Naga weaving motif. Hundreds of Lao people gather at the National Cultural Hall to celebrate the listing by the UNESCO of the Lao Naga weaving motif as a form of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The event was led by Prime Minister Sonsai Siphandon and other government leaders. Laos-Mongolia agreed to strengthen ties. President Thongloun Sisoulith and his Mongolian counterpart Uknagin Khurelsukh agreed to enhance ties and broaden cooperation between the two countries during the Lao leaders' 2-day state visit to Mongolia. The two presidents outlined plans for future cooperation in politics, defense, agriculture, education, and public health. Prime Minister outlines government's plan for economic self-reliance. The government advanced fulfillment of a resolution adopted by the Lao People's Revolutionary Party Central Committee on the creation of an independent economic system and greater self-reliance. The government makes nutrition a top development priority. The government announced a renewed commitment to tackling malnutrition, recognizing proper nutrition in a child's first 1,000 days of life will determine a person's development and health status in future years. July. Laos-Russia inked agreements to reinforce ties in pivotal areas of development. The foreign ministers of Laos and Russia signed 3 agreements aimed at deepening cooperation in crucial areas such as information security, foreign ministry consultation, and education. The two ministries underscores the robust cooperation between Laos and Russia, noting that it is rooted in decades of mutual understanding, assistance, and friendship. Laos-Hong Kong signed 12 pacts to strengthen ties. Laos and Hong Kong inked 12 pacts to broaden cooperation in education, economics, and trade, reciprocal assistance on tariffs, and more during a visit by the chief executive of the island city to Laos. The agreements will serve as references for future cooperation between the two sides. Laos-Vietnam signed extradition treaty. The governments of Laos and Vietnam signed an extradition treaty that defines the basic principles and methods around the extradition of criminals between the two countries. The treaty is an addition to the Treaty on Legal Assistance in Civil and Criminal Matters, signed between the two countries in 1998. Laos-Singapore broadened ties in education, carbon credit. Prime Minister Sonsai Siphandon and his host, Singaporean counterpart Lawrence Wong, agreed to expand cooperation in the fields of education and carbon credit. The two heads of government witnessed the signing of memorandums of understanding on cooperation in education and on collaboration under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on carbon credit. Myanmar starts direct flight from Yangon to Vientiane. Myanmar Airways International Company Limited, a privately owned airline, began operating direct flights between Vientiane and Yangon, setting up the first air transport link between Laos and Myanmar. August. Flood swamped Sayaburi, Bokeo provinces. Persistent heavy rain caused extensive flooding in northern Laos, resulting in widespread damage to farms and houses and affecting thousands of people. September. Storm Yagi lashes northern Laos. The north of Laos suffered the brunt of Storm Yagi, which crossed the country after passing over Vietnam. Many villages in Luang Prabha province awash in floodwater after rivers burst their banks following heavy rainfall.
Welcome to
ASEAN governors mute ways to strengthen city resilience, regional connectivity. ASEAN capital governors and city mayors convene in Vientiane to enhance cooperation aimed at building more resilient cities and boosting regional connectivity. Leaders from across the region discuss strategies for improving infrastructure, fostering sustainable development, and strengthening partnerships to ensure a more connected and resilient ASEAN.
So next say Sip Hanton, Prime Minister.
Prime Minister attends 79th UN General Assembly in New York. During his attendance at the meeting, Prime Minister Sonsai Siphandone expressed his appreciation for the cooperative relationship between Laos and the United Nations, especially for the UN's assistance in tackling unexploded ordnance following the formulation of a strategic plan in 2003. He also told the meeting that ASEAN members are actively working to fulfill the Sustainable Development Goals.
ให้ประธานสามารถเขาเป็นสมาชิก
October, the German government pledged to provide a new aid package worth 41 million euros to support poverty alleviation programs and drive development in Laos. The World Bank provides 56 million US dollar for rural road upgrades. A new World Bank project was set in motion to improve road travel in central and southern Laos, helping about 600,000 people to access public services and markets more easily while making rural roads more resilient to extreme weather. Laos and Thailand signed 6 cooperation agreements. The governments of Laos and Thailand signed 6 cooperation agreements during an official visit to Laos by Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra.
กองประชุมสุดยอดอาเซียนครั้งที่44
ASEAN summits takes place in Vientiane. Summits that gathered the leaders of ASEAN states track the progress made in advancing community building, with the 10-member bloc set to expand its membership to 11. Laos hosted the 44th and 45th ASEAN and related summits back-to-back under the country's 2024 chairmanship of ASEAN, which took the theme ASEAN Enhancing Connectivity and Resilience.
Your Majesty, Excellencies,
45th ASEAN Interparliamentary Assembly pushes for shared benefits. The 45th General Assembly of the ASEAN Interparliamentary Assembly took place in Vientiane to bolster collective efforts to support the bloc's pursuit of shared goals and deliver tangible benefits to citizens. Key issues discussed included regional conflicts, natural disasters, climate change, and economic and financial difficulties. The Assembly yielded productive outcomes with 37 resolutions considered and adopted. Laos-France celebrates 30 years of development cooperation. Cooperation between Laos and France has seen the implementation of the 90 development projects worth over 30 million euros. A meeting led by the French ambassador to Laos noted that 2024 was a record year for signing new finance agreements between Laos and France, totaling over 19.6 million euros. November. Laos-Cuba celebrates 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations. Laos and Cuba celebrated the 50th anniversary of their diplomatic relations at a ceremony held in Vientiane. Participants noted that the relationship between the two countries is founded on friendship and unity and has been long-standing since the people of Laos engaged in a revolution against foreign imperialism in the 1960s and 70s, resulting in victory and the liberation of Laos.
Permitted by the Lao People's Democratic Republic, the Phonelam Vonglao.
December. UNESCO gives official recognition to Lamvong dance. The traditional Lao Lamvong dance was inscribed as a form of World Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity by UNESCO. The graceful dance has been preserved through countless generations, with the movements reflecting the Lao way of life, including unity, a love for fun, and gratitude for the land that nourishes people across the country.